Yo, flying scouts and intrepid internet travelers, welcome to my channel. I'm Josh, your Binge Buffoon, if you will have me. Today, I'm going to be watching The Wire Season 1 finale, Sentencing. That's right, months after I posted my reaction to Episode 1, because that's how long binging takes when you're underwater or it's 1928. We're finally here, all fluffed up and ready to watch the conclusion of what I believe is a brilliant first season of television, deconstructing two institutions, the people in their wake, and the epigraphs. Oh, the epigraphs. I'm gonna begin this video by quoting David Simon himself, who said about The Wire from its first season. I'm gonna try and do this and pretend I didn't write this down, but I can't. From its first season, the show aimed to outline how the modern world is becoming increasingly indifferent to individual catharsis and individual dignity, and human beings are worthless. Everyday human beings are worthless. So that's lovely. Obviously, I'm recording this intro after the fact, so without further ado, reaction channel. Let's ride the coattails of other people's art. Kima! Is alive. Good.
Hey, now.
Where the fuck this guy is? Bunk's there.
They said you were up. By the time we get here, you back asleep.
What? You're gonna give her shit for that?
You know, we didn't want to exactly disturb you.
Yeah, no shit. They hired this actor just to smile.
Little man. For sure.
Yeah.
It's good. You been all right?
Okay, he's got a line or two.
Number 2.
Maybe he can't. Why are you pointing at? You don't know.
I can make little man. But the other one, he's outside in the dark.
And she's being, dude, she's so admirable
Is
and
there anyone
honorable.
here
She's not gonna
that
just.
you do recognize?
Sure. We back.
You mean like he just wants her to finger somebody?
Now, the caller was using Bay's beeper code. Crime lab. They left a print off a soda can near that phone, and that matches little man.
She ain't gonna say Weebay though, because she didn't see him. You don't play the game like that.
We don't have the guns, no prints from the scene, no witnesses. But worse, we're gonna be dealing with a Baltimore City jury.
Weebay's gonna walk, which means they'll develop his character more, and I'll like him probably more in future seasons, maybe.
You know, sometimes things just gotta play hard.
Legend. Kima's a fucking legend, dude. Watch your back. I beg your pardon. Jesus, save a soul.
You gotta keep the devil around in the hole.
All in the game. Traditional Westport. Wow, that hell of an epigraph to end the season.
Around the troops, you gotta get used to showing the proper respect. So let's go home set. Right?
Ronnie Moe arrested.
What's the count? So far, we picked up 12. Leaves 7 on the wing.
They're gonna shut us down unless we come up with something fresh to run with right now.
The wires are dead. The bug in the club is useless. They were moving out of there even as we got up on them.
To where?
No clue. Either Barksdale moves to reset his distribution or he gives up the towers.
If not Avon, then Stringer.
Why not Avon? With no priors, he's out 2 hours after the bail review.
Yeah.
We asked the state's attorney for a new bug. Maybe even a wire if we get onto a phone.
Not while the deputy breathes air.
Everywhere else.
How about the feds?
You think the deputy's gonna let you take this mess federal?
Why does the deputy need to know?
Yeah, fuck him,
McNulty.
Daniels. I mean, he already hates you. Yeah. He already...
No shit.
Rhonda's on the line. Yeah. D'Angelo's flipping. or something.
Just got a call from an assistant public defender in North Jersey who claims to represent a man by the name of D'Angelo.
He's not flipping, but he's, yeah.
No drug lawyers, no Levy.
Well, it's not great because Wallace is dead, but yeah.
Oh, hell no. Club's out. We can't talk there no more.
How's Avon gonna react when he hears D'Angelo's sort of outside of their jurisdiction? I guess you could say that.
We're up to almost 20 arrests at last count.
I mean, it seemed way too much for one snitch.
It's not one snitch.
My gut tells me a wire.
Yeah.
You talk to your nephew on the phone about the Jersey thing?
Face to face in my office in the back of the
The
club.
bug's in the office.
Fuck.
It's good you moved out of there. He said he'd be in tonight.
Oh, wait.
In the meantime, what do you want to do about the people they locked up?
We gotta pull them.
Showing a lot of money.
Well, if we don't, we run the risk of making them enemies.
Yeah, you gotta get them out or they could be flipped. They could flip.
He family, all right? He not gonna buck. A day or two in the New Jersey bullpen, he gonna be crying, waiting for bail money.
I don't know. D'Angelo will suffer if he feels like he deserves it.
But I want you to start thinking about who was charged and what kind of time they can do.
I saw your girl today.
How's she doing?
You don't want to visit because he's afraid to feel it.
She's out at the ICU. Moving slow, but moving, you know. Jimmy? You ain't been to see her?
Nah, I couldn't go in.
Yeah.
I will.
I'm going to be honest. There was a moment in my life where someone I love very much was hospitalized, and it scared me to the point where I couldn't even go. And I hated being that person. But I understand this feeling, you know. I don't even know if I was scared, to be honest with you. I just didn't want any of that. It was selfish. I just didn't want to feel. That's all it is. It's not fear, really. It's just selfish.
Damn, man. It's too still in here. You know what? We could...
Yeah.
This place will be fine. All we really gotta do, man, is put a little safe in here someplace and let them know the count comes here from now on.
Damn, boy. Y'all change up. Y'all that paranoid? You ain't even been up in there before.
It's true.
You want to get it back up? You lean to me and string here.
Nah, I ain't down
See,
yet.
now I don't even know D'Angelo's mom's name, but she's in this position of authority.
You send out the word. You let them know we ain't dead yet. About my nephew.
Don't fret. Give me a chance to get Roberto, and I'll get up to D. Do what needs doing.
Dude.
Sorry for putting him out there like that. And that I'm gonna make it up to him.
Well, you gonna make it up. Most definitely.
She's very much a matriarchal figure within the organization. Like, the only person I can think of as a reference right now is Gemma from Sons of Anarchy, but you know what I mean. Would have made sense to have her introduced earlier to contextualize how D'Angelo views the business in relation to his family more, but whatever. I like that we're getting the character at all.
Tenant in Avon Barksdale's drug distribution organization sold large quantities of drugs. On one occasion, made a trip to New York on the behest of his uncle, all of which corroborates much of what we already know.
Well, what else is there?
The murders.
I don't know nothing about that witness being killed.
Which witness?
Trying to catch him. Yeah.
You did, huh?
Yeah, about the same time they did the boy.
Did a picture of Wallace. Gonna flip him back over, yeah.
No loose ends.
I'm thinking he might be getting high. Wow, that's... Boy, scaring me with his shit.
I got that shit on tape.
Mm-hmm. His name is Brendan Wright.
Jesus fuck.
Brendan broke fingers, gouged an eye out. All kinds of fun.
Wallace was the one who saw.
He's talking.
But he really ain't think about what they do.
You must have known.
Didn't.
What was I gonna do? Huh?
Oh, he's talking now.
Then you called Stringer, and Stringer, he gathered the troops.
Yeah.
This isn't smart, Angelo, but this is talking. You're talking.
They dropped the body where we see it.
Wallace is going to break him. It was always going to be Wallace that broke him. They've been setting that up this entire season.
After seeing that, he wanted to get out. Go back to school.
Then about a week ago, my uncle and String, they called me down to the club. Stringer, he's all worried about Wallace, and I told him. I said, Wallace ain't no snitch, but I needed to do more. I should have done more. That's on me.
Any idea who they sent at Wallace?
They just turned another kid against him.
If I knew, I would tell you. All right? I swear to God, I would tell you.
Yeah, he would. I wonder if D'Angelo's ever going to find out that Wallace did snitch, and what that will do to his opinion of Wallace in the situation. He's just completely telling him everything now. I guess it makes sense. Like I said, he's broken.
Did Weebay say anything to you about the shootings?
We don't talk shop in the car. It's a rule we got.
Yeah, that's right. That was established early on in the season.
Your client must realize that any agreement is dependent on his full cooperation.
All right. Oh, this one with the scene with all the F's. I say fuck a lot. I might as well just fucking say it. When they're knocking at the window, tap tap tap.
She was one of my uncle's girls. I didn't know they was gonna do her. My uncle gave me an 8-ball of coke, told me to take it over there to her. So he had Weebay take me over.
Yeah, Weebay killed her.
So she's your uncle's girl, but she comes to the door for you naked.
She used to do that shit with me all the time, man. Teasing. You know how girls do. Maybe you don't.
Weebay was at the window.
Weebay, he come running back with this big-ass 45 he liked to use so much. Tells me how he was tapping on the window real soft.
Yeah.
You know, when she gets up to the window and looks out.
Damn, they cut to the picture like that.
You did good, D'Angelo.
Yeah, you did.
For you guys, not necessarily for him.
I don't understand, man.
The women are like, they're judging him, you know.
Grow up in this shit.
Yeah, I like that we're getting this moment.
All my people, man. It's just what we do.
Yeah.
You just live with this shit until you can't breathe no more.
Oh, he talked about this to Chardine.
I was courtside for 8 months. And I was free in jail. Then I was at home.
Holy shit.
I want what Wallace wanted. I want to start over. That's what I want. I just want to go somewhere where I can breathe like regular folk.
Wow. I didn't see this coming, but I guess maybe I did a little bit. Makes sense. It all makes sense.
And I'll give you them.
Let's get him out of here. Let's put him in witness protection. Let's get him a life. It's not going to happen, though. Good things don't happen here in this show, not Baltimore. I'm sure it's wonderful there.
We broke it open tonight.
Yeah, D'Angelo. You know what's awesome about this season of this show is D'Angelo was always the key. And we knew it with the last shot of the first episode. Well, D'Angelo was at the center of that episode. He's at the center of all of this, and he was always the key. He was always the chink in Avon's armor. He was always the crack in that windshield. Dude, it was all gonna spiderweb.
I wouldn't be surprised if his wife picked me for this case.
What are you gonna...
He's got me if he wants me. Thing is, I don't think he wants me. Too much stink.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just a fly on the shit. But there's a bunch of other flies, and then there's the shit itself. Carcass works in that.
Admit it, Jimmy, this is a great case. Yeah. Because of how deep it goes. I mean, the murders.
Laughing?
Jesus, I feel like I've been drunk ever since that kid started talking to us.
You're gonna drive?
Yeah, that's how it feels, I suppose. I don't like your guys' reaction to this. I guess it is a power trip or high or whatever.
You want to try to go federal with this? I am up for it. I get cross-designated as an AUSA, and we can really run with it. You know?
Yeah, but see, then you're gonna...
Career fucking...
Yeah, but see, this attitude's not healthy either, because then you're gonna default on self-fulfilling prophecies and just start cutting corners probably to get wins.
Levy's the other day,
I figured they were gonna enter the realm of coitus. I could tell. You guys are toxic as fuck. That rubbed me the wrong way, that whole scene between them.
Look what just walked in without a fucking escort.
Downtown Roy Brown, the living legend in his own mind.
Uptown Lester Freeman. Fuck me. How long's it been?
You guys are the same age. If that's the case, you need to get on Lester's diet.
We need to trap and trace.
That's the thing is, see, Lester and Ronnie went to high school together, and they always made fun of how old Ronnie Brown looked. And Lester was like, stop picking on him. Stop picking on him. That's how they became friends. Ronnie sort of always followed Lester around. They got in the same career, but they didn't end up working directly together, you know. But every now and again, Lester comes around, says hi. And Ronnie just thinks, God, someday I'll be just like Lester. It's not going to happen. He's already retiring, but you can dream.
Isn't this supposed to be the time you tell me how all-fired fucking important this is?
The Philly number gives us the mope who shot that female undercover.
Right. Ronnie's been waiting for a moment to make a difference. He's been waiting for this moment. The young man's game, but Ronnie can still play.
Bosses don't know you're doing this?
Oh, it's this guy.
Who'll be coming?
You mean a detective named Freeman and Daniels? I can speak for Daniels, brother.
Oh, right. This was the guy who said Daniels was dirty.
Set something up.
All right.
Could I get 10 copies?
10 copies?
10.
It's true.
Right.
Him working here is just so funny to me. It's like that one guy from Breaking Bad who works... The one guy in Breaking Bad who gives people new identities who works in that vacuum cleaner shop. It's just fun character stuff. Where criminals masquerade as something the opposite of criminality.
It's not street ready, right? So everybody gotta work on their own cut and file up. 3 parts of this, right? To 1 of raw, all right? And that's how we're gonna do it until we get the new stash. Now I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
You guys have a pretty good case here.
If you can help us squeeze the Barksdale kid into a witness protection program, we can run wild with this thing.
No suppliers, though.
We have these post-911 protocols. We can't pick up any new narcotics work unless it goes to priority organized crime targets.
We don't have any Colombians in Baltimore.
And we don't have any wise guys.
To run with you on this, we need a recognized OC target. Or even better, a connect to counterterrorism or corruption.
We're bringing it full circle back to...
What kind of corruption?
9/11, post 9/11. Now Bodie's just in this life for real. He always was.
Do what you feel, but be ready to finish what you start. What you doing? This ain't an open market. You know that.
See, that's why we can't win. They fuck up, they get beat. We fuck up, they give us pensions.
Yeah. Damn it, I forgot the epigraph quote. I don't remember what it was.
Heard you ain't much as an eyeball witness. Bad as any civilian.
Where we at?
Dude, why doesn't Bubs come here?
Jesus, give it a rest.
What's on the wire?
Wire's down.
Come on, man.
Wire's dead. Yeah, well, yeah, we lost the wire, but the good news is D'Angelo's flipped. And we're talking to the feds about maybe...
Fuck both y'all.
I mean, I get her frustration, but it is their life.
She says ain't nothing worth this. So I promised her I'd think about it.
I don't know. Yeah. See, the thing is when you get into something as deep as they are and it becomes your identity, quitting is as good as dying, kind of. Who wants an apple pie life when you found something that makes you feel as alive as this? And I think that was the point of the scene between Rhonda and McNulty, because we get a glimpse into how it makes him feel, even though he doesn't show it outwardly as much as she did in that moment. But it's like a drug, you know? It's a type of addiction like other addictions we've been shown.
It took you so long getting up in here. Shit. No cards, no flowers. I mean, what the fuck, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I felt...
responsible.
For a case like this, it's always you or Sidner or some other black cop who ends up going undercover.
Oh, God. Right.
I swear if I could do it over...
I would have been the one in that car, but I didn't even think about that.
If I could do it over, you know what I'd do? Put more tape on that fucking gun.
Right, so she could get it and it wouldn't have...
I'm sorry, Kima. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Since I got you up in here acting like my bitch and shit, maybe you can do something for me.
She said you were doing good. Said she was proud of you.
Well, here he is, my man. Ah, he's on it again.
This is enough for what I got going on now, man. You give the rest back to her.
You sure?
Yeah, he ain't clean.
Give her my love.
He ain't clean.
Hey, McNutty.
McNutty.
Don't tell her.
Yeah.
What we got, man?
Over there, man.
You know, in my reaction to episode 1, I called it McNutty by mistake. And then someone told me in the comments that that was a nickname that another character gave him, you know, Bubs. But so I didn't react to it. I knew it was coming when... It doesn't matter. Never mind. These guys are like, fuck. Yeah.
The world is on its ass.
It does suck when you can't even do your thing with a girl. Not like the thing, but you know, your boys are watching. I hate that shit. Guys, I'm just, yeah. We're at 12 here.
Question is, can your cooperator give us the senator or any other political figure?
The cooperator?
D'Angelo don't know any of that. You don't know jack about the money.
He gives you the drugs and the violence.
They don't care about
He gives
that.
you Avon Barksdale.
They only care about the money. Just like everybody else.
You talking about turning Barksdale and Bell into cooperators and making the politicians the primary target?
Of course.
Holy fuck.
But what you are saying is that if we bring you guys the case, it's your intention to let Barksdale and Bell reduce any sentence they get through cooperation, huh?
Jesus Christ, are you kidding? He's seeing all this ass backwards.
Detective, in this office, we have a mandate to pursue political corruption.
That's admirable. At least the FBI used to do that. I feel like they don't anymore. Cut that. We get in trouble.
That kind of hyperbole doesn't serve anyone, Detective.
What's the right thing to do here? Like, what's the right thing? Is it the big picture? Is it the people killing people? What's the right thing to do here? Tell me, show. Be a contemporary show and tell me what to do.
I'm running around trying to pin some politician's pelt to the wall.
I'm kidding. It's not going to tell us outright.
Thought you was real police.
But I'm with McNulty just because. And Daniels. Oh, God. Here we go with Gemma. Gemma's going to see her son. She gave him a sandwich. She gave him lunch in the episode prior, so now their relationship has been established. And this has meaning. I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
Started out thinking you was in Jersey. You ain't in Jersey. I figure they still got you down in Central Booking.
This actress has been in a lot of stuff, though. I can't think of her name, but she's very good.
How y'all even find me?
Ain't no one gonna keep a mother from her son.
I feel like she's played mothers and other things.
Family is the Hardys say. Well, I'm family. Ain't I? What about me for once?
Because it's all about the money, so Avon's more important.
You like for him to step up? Take all the weight and let you walk? But if he gotta go away,
where's the money?
That mean you got to step up and fill his shoes.
Oh, okay.
I ain't ready, and I ain't never gonna be ready for this game.
No, he ain't built for it.
They giving me
That's why we like him, though.
to start again someplace else.
Don't tell her this.
And what you giving them?
I guess it's his mom, but again, we don't know how loyal she is to him, really. She brings him lunch, great.
He messed up, Dave. But you hurt him. You hurt this whole family.
That's true.
And your baby. Your own baby boy.
I guess that is true.
This right here is part of the game, D. And without the game, this whole family would be down in the fucking terrace living off scraps.
That's true.
Shit, we probably wouldn't even be a family.
That's true. You know what? I've said this before, but God, how many times an episode do we say game?
How the
or
fuck you gonna start over without your peoples? Without your own child, even.
Oh. I didn't think about all that.
You ain't got family in this world. What the hell you got?
Well, it's kind of too late. So you already gave him a lot. I mean, he didn't testify, but what the fuck's gonna happen? There's only 22 minutes left. How do we wrap this up?
Anything you want to tell me?
Oh, he took the money. I forgot they took money.
Been weeks now.
Oh, he knows.
The deputy ops knows what's going on in this unit almost before I do.
Carver's this mole?
We run the buck up into Barksdale's club office. And Burrell, for once, he's a step behind.
And Carver wasn't there.
And I see that one of my people is at the academy for in service.
Wouldn't have guessed this at all.
Lieutenant, I swear it wasn't my idea.
What the fuck, Carver?
And there's the deputy fucking ops telling me how concerned he is about the case. He needs to be informed.
Can't believe this, actually.
I mean, he's the deputy fucking ops, man.
You're going to be in some district somewhere with 11 or 12 uniforms looking to you for everything. And some of them are going to be good police. Some of them are going to be young and stupid. A few are going to be pieces of shit. But all of them will take their cue from you.
Like, what would you do in my position? You're going to be me.
Show loyalty. They learn loyalty. You show them it's about the work, it'll be about the work. You show them some other kind of game, then that's the game they'll play.
Damn. Game again. I know I always say that, but it's just such a cornerstone of the show, that allegory, the game. The allegory of the game. Like the allegory of the cave. Shoot him, yeah.
Comes a day you're gonna have to decide whether it's about you or about the work.
Yeah. That's ego death, right? And that's sort of something I think we should all sort of strive towards. Are our actions about us, or are they about being of service to whatever the goal is?
We're working a flight warrant today.
There's a lot to do here in office.
I'd be careful with that, though. I understand the trigger pull used to be light.
And Prez is about the work, though. Oh, it's Weebay.
Get him up there, get him up there. Oh, where's the leg? There you go. I had to fuck with my rod.
Weebay is... Look, I mean, from a certain perspective, it's funny to watch Weebay do things. And he did sort of get the best of Omar in that one interaction, so I'll give him some respect for that. The shootout, you know.
Sit. Sit.
Oh, hey, Rawls. I forgot we haven't seen you in a couple episodes. I always forget that. There's so many characters you're invested in that you forget when you haven't seen some. Good.
You all did great work. For the number of clearances I'm looking at here, I mean, Christ, for the first time this year, we got the clearance rate up over 40.
Yeah, see what happens when you play the long game.
On the other hand, I know the deputy ops got a call from the first deputy U.S. attorney this morning asking whether an asshole such as yourself really works for us. And of course, it's the first the deputy hears his troops are creeping behind his back trying to take a case federal when they've already been told the case is closed. You're a good detective. I want to see you land okay, Jimmy. So tell me, where don't you want to go?
There again, just like him and Daniels, him and Rawls' dynamic has evolved in a very endearing way, I guess.
It's not just talk on the wire. We've got seized money and a lot of dope on the table.
Dope on the table. This is written so well, this series, that lines always come back around. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. But for those who do, it's cool. Because the lines they're not just empty words. Thematically, they're all tied together in some way.
Representing Mr. Bryce, I'm fairly confident that to avoid the death penalty, he'll proffer to at least half dozen of your open murders.
Naming co-conspirators? For that kind of cooperation, I'd be willing to consider straight life.
No, indeed. I believe Mr. Bryce is ready to take sole responsibility.
He is, isn't he? He's gonna take all that? Maybe he isn't just about the game. That's wild. He's that loyal to Avon?
So you keep most of the money, most of the real estate, and Stringer Bell stays on the street with his hand on the throttle.
If you have a charge against Mr. Bell, file it. Otherwise, it's my understanding that nothing in all those hours of tape implicates him.
That might be true.
3 or 4 years ain't enough, Maury. Not for Avon Barksdale.
Make an offer.
Part 14 of the Circuit Court of Baltimore City now in session. Be seated.
First up.
State versus Avon Randolph Barksdale, Your Honor.
Oh, wow. Right to it. These old kitchen chairs.
Mr. Barksdale is offering a plea of guilty in exchange for a maximum of 7 years in DOC. Trooper Robert Warren of the Newark Barracks effected a traffic stop on a rented Ford Taurus traveling southbound near exit 13. A kilogram of nearly pure heroin was concealed beneath the spare tire in the car trunk.
That's exactly how he looked like him in the first episode. This is...
Package and sell retail amounts of heroin.
He's just eating food. He don't give a shit.
I do better give him.
He don't give a fuck.
They learn about it later. They can charge you later. Fuck it then. Another fish sandwich and some tater salad.
Dude, okay, he's definitely a sociopath, but he's funny. Okay, he's just a comedic character, kind of. Dude.
Well, all right. I do, little man.
Why is he so loyal? I want insight into or he just takes pride in being a soldier, I guess. I don't know. And he's like, this is what it is. It is what it is, I suppose.
The security lady. And what's his name? The maintenance man.
Oh, he's just taking Gant. He's taking responsibility for all these. Maybe Weebei's not an idiot and he's just completely like, why would I do all these mental gymnastics like everybody else and wear myself out instead of just living the life that's in front of me? Because what the fuck else am I going to do? Complicate things? The system's always going to be there. And like I said at the beginning of my last reaction, the episode prior, human beings are always going to manipulate each other. There's nothing you can do. So maybe Weebei, he probably just isn't bothered. Like, what are you going to do?
Congrats. Thanks. So where they sending you? Northwest. Spurgeon's retiring.
Yeah, I heard that was gonna happen.
Good seeing you.
You too. You see, this ain't no DEU. Down here, we make big cases. Big, hairy ball cases, like this Barksdale thing, right? And all that mess you call police work down in the districts, all that fuck somebody up and rip and run bullshit.
Which is what he was doing when this series started.
This is what makes cases, gentlemen. This.
Look at what the impact they've had. See, Daniels is like, this is what it's about. I like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know, man. It is worth it and isn't worth it.
Nicely done.
Nicely done.
Even though Avon was in charge, Stringer's the main boss. You know, that the way they are bookending this season is awesome.
Yo, if Rock ain't here in 10 minutes with my re-up.
Wait, so now Bodie's in charge of the pit? Guess he was always going. I mean, he probably, yeah. He's the guy for it. Damn.
Now, I understand you did a tour in homicide years ago, but let me tell you how I run this unit, because how I run it is how it runs.
Well, Lester's in homicide now?
You do not play the game for yourself, you play it for us.
Yeah, okay.
If you remember these few rules,
Lester
you'll find me to be supportive and reasonable.
Very reasonable, sir.
He's gonna be back in the pawn shop unit in no time. Jay's such a simp for Rawls. Such a lackey, a hype man. But they didn't accomplish anything. Like, honestly, all of this still exists. That's what Poot's looking at right now. The cops, I mean.
The fuck was that? Huh? You taking niggas' money, then you serve them?
Oh, now there's this lesson again. The couch is a different color.
You take their money, then you
the different couch.
That's some other niggas serve. The way you doing it, someone snapping pictures got the whole deal. We gotta tighten up around here, yo.
He's just quoting D'Angelo. That made me really sad, but kind of like happy.
shimmy.
Oh, fucking. Daddy's home.
I read all about it in the papers. You done good, kiddo.
Nothing's changed out there, though.
Undertaken on his own behest and is refusing to cooperate against others in the conspiracy. The state is offering only the maximum allowable 20 years, Your Honor.
eBay, man. Let it go. For life, no parole. He puts himself in for Orlando and the attempt murder on Greggs. Then he also takes Lakeisha Lyles, Deidre Crescent, the 2 project murders that matched that gun, both the stick-up boys, and Lil Man.
Okay, Weebay, I don't know why, but it's the most loyal guy Avon could have ever had.
He's taking life, no parole for shooting a cop. What the fuck? Might as well try to spring bird for killing Gap.
Yeah, that's true. You might as well take on the rest. Why? Why in slow motion?
What the fuck did I do? You happy now, bitch?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like a win. Because D'Angelo's going to prison for 20 years, maybe, and Avon got the 4 or 6? I don't, what happened? I forget now, because... So the person that we liked the most and did the least amount of things wrong on it's going, dude. Oh yeah, and he's on the streets. I wonder if they knew if they were getting more seasons after they did this. Probably not, because this feels like a series finale. Lester and Bunk working together. What are you doing? What unit are you? Throws him a bottle of booze. The Marine units? This is what he... Oh my god! Because Rose said, where don't you want to end up? He was playing him. Because he's like, that's exactly where I'm going to send you. I don't want to deal with you. And Stringer's the guy. No. Stringer's the guy. Which is worse, I think. Yeah, they didn't disrupt this at all, dude. They probably made him better at doing this. Stringer and Company. At distributing. Selling. Wow.
Are you the man with them jumbo 6s? I'm man, you fucking one. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
All in the game, yo. All in the game.
At least we got Robin Hood here to disrupt the system a little bit. I love it.
Good show.
I love that reveal at the end that Omar came back. With the whistle, you know, the farmer in the dell. That was amazing. That was fucking amazing.
Sometime later.
How dope was the use of that epigraph with Omar? Very dope. I'm going to start the review portion of this video with another quote from David Simon. For the record, both quotes I'm using in this video, because I used one in the intro, are from an interview with him I found on a site called Mockingbird. I know I shouldn't be reading stuff about The Wire to avoid spoilers and whatnot, but I really just felt the need to quote this dude, because what he has to say about the show that he wrote and helped create is infinitely more valuable than anything I could say. So if I mix his words in with mine, it lifts me up a bit. I'm an egomaniac. Simon said, in much of television and in a good deal of our stage drama, individuals are often portrayed as rising above institutions to achieve catharsis. In this drama, the institutions always prove larger, and those characters with hubris enough to challenge the postmodern construct of American empire are invariably mocked, marginalized, or crushed. A Greek tragedy for the new millennium, so to speak. I think those words perfectly describe where we find characters like D'Angelo and McNulty at the end of this episode, two characters who you could argue challenge their institutions for righteous reasons, but if that quote is any indication, Simon would argue that they did so for the sake of their own ego, wanting to feel special, like they're not just another number or body in an indifferent system, like they alone can enact change, or at the very least free themselves from feeling trapped. I believe at one point D'Angelo, it was either in this final episode or the one prior, he talks about how he felt freer in jail than he ever did outside. In the same interview that quoted David Simon, where I got that, Simon was asked if he thought change was possible, societal change, systematic change, and he simply said, no. This show is obviously ridiculously relevant today and probably will remain relevant. It's timely. Because how many times in recent years have we just thought, what is the point? None of this is going to change. None of this can change. I, along with a lot of other people, have talked ad nauseum about how this show is steeped in realism. I think I've said that at least 3 times. And I'm going to try not to reiterate too many sentiments I've said in intros or outros or throughout videos in the past. But I think what made season 1 of this series so brilliant, at least in my opinion, was how it was able to flesh out very flawed characters in a true to form city without telling you what to think about them or their actions. Nuance. The most important and powerful thing that exists in storytelling, and something that we're losing sight of in contemporary media. It not only makes things more interesting, but I believe it opens the door for empathy and understanding in real life. That's the power of storytelling, because it exposes people to perspectives and situations they wouldn't have exposure to otherwise. Me, I don't have any experience with Baltimore, I have no experience with Baltimore and much of the life that is depicted in this show. And I think that comes through in my reactions, and I've talked a lot about that as I've tried to identify with characters and as I've explored perspective. I'm sure you've noticed that. If you have had the patience to watch the entirety of all of my videos, I hope you're taking care of yourself. These are long videos. You can do something more productive. But yeah, I've talked a lot about how I've empathized with characters like McNulty and D'Angelo and Wallace, more than characters like Avon, Stringer, and Weebay. Because the former trio, at least on the surface, seemed like they were trying to do what was traditionally moral, despite the selling of drugs, killing people, or cheating on their wives, you know. I think what this series adds a lot of credence to is the fact that, or the opinion that, evil is often created by its environment. And I don't know if I'm necessarily someone who believes that human beings are born inherently good or bad, but circumstances bring out the best and worst in individuals. Because there's something about the individual that's indeterminate. We don't know how any one individual is going to react in a situation. If environments cultivate evil and a propensity for corruption, maybe it's already there. Maybe it's not. Maybe life is just one big opportunity. It is to have an impact, with good and bad being subjective. It doesn't matter. None of anything I just said matters. But that's the point. It does. There's that scene where Daniels confronts Carver about leaking information to Burrell. He tells Carver, and I wrote this quote down as well because I love it so much, so I'm going to repeat it. Daniels says to Carver, a couple weeks from now, you're going to be in some district somewhere with 11 or 12 uniforms looking to you for everything. Some of them are going to be good police. Some of them are going to be young and stupid. A few are going to be pieces of shit, but all of them will take their cue from you. You show them loyalty, they learn loyalty. You show them it's about the work, it'll be about the work. You show them some other kind of game, and that's the game they'll play. And then he talks about how when he was in the Eastern, he made bad decisions because he had a piece of shit lieutenant hoping to be captain. Which is, you know, it's so poetic because he found himself in the same situation. About to make similar decisions as his old lieutenant, but he didn't. He chose another path. Because there comes a day you're going to have to decide whether it's about you or about the work. It's so fucking powerful, man. That scene doesn't answer any of the questions I asked prior to reading that, but it does posture Daniels as righteous. Even though this series doesn't say this is good and this is bad, you still come away from that being like, hell yes. I think it's a great example of how this series, while it paints Baltimore as this unbeatable machine, peppered with all these systems and institutions, there's still hope, which I know sort of negates or contradicts the quotes I read by Simon, but I still think he would agree. There's always hope. Even if you don't make a difference, you can still try. Even when you know you can't. Sometimes life's just about distracting yourself with the work that's in front of you and doing the best that you can. I know it's all a lot more objective than that, but it's also not. This show is still very human, and there still needs to be hope even when the world's burning around you. Fuck it. Which for me is why I found this season so wholesome at times, when wholesome and relatable. You watch the detail buying into the work, and Kirk becoming a better cop, and D'Angelo bonding with Wallace, while him and his friends figure out what it means to be a man in a world that doesn't give a fuck. Real quick, just because I mentioned that scene with Daniels and Carver in the final episode, I want to praise how well this show, in particular the final episode, is structured so well despite feeling so organic. It's like a magic trick, you know what I mean? Thematically, scenes tie together so well. Like in Sentencing, you have a scene with part of the detail talking to the FBI about the big picture. Who do you go after? Do you go after the dealers or the money and political corruption? And then after that, you have this scene with D'Angelo and his mom, and they're talking about the big picture as well in regards to the Barksdale organization, whether or not he should inform or whether he should take one for the team. And then cut to Daniels and Carver, and they're talking about Carver informing and about loyalty and about the work, which again relates to the scene prior. And then Daniels takes Prez's gun and gives it back to him. I don't know if it's the same gun, but he lost his gun privileges because of the shit at the beginning of the season. He gives it back to him because of his loyalty and his commitment to the work throughout the season. Those 4 interwoven moments and scenes that create this poetic sequence. And if I were to look at the scenes surrounding them, they relate as well. And then ultimately you walk away from this tapestry, some sort of stained glass in a church. It's fucking beautiful. In the mirroring of scenes and that sort of thing, the symbolism and symmetry happens all the time in this show, or in season 1, it's happened all the time. And it's absolutely brilliant. One of the first things I ever learned in film class 101 in college was mise en scène, right? Clever cinematography and whatnot, where the camera will fixate on certain things that have larger meaning. And it's no wonder that this series is studied so much, because it does that sort of thing all the time. The whole season flows extremely well as everything comes together. All the pieces matter. And I'm thoroughly impressed, not just by all the artsy-fartsy stuff I just talked about and the pontificating and the themes and what does it all mean, but because this series in its first season was able to nail how it followed both sides of the law so intricately, because that's a risky move. Inferior shows would never have been able to pull it off, because the audience will typically find one side more interesting than the other if the plot and characters aren't written so well. And also, if you know too much about the plot and the situation, if you have access to the entire chessboard as a viewer, that can destroy tension, which is where the game comes in. Because the game itself needs to be interesting, even when you see all of it, almost all of it. Obviously, they show us things when we're meant to see them. But we still know more than each individual character, obviously. It's an omnipotent viewpoint. People have said the first season is slow, and you need to get through that, and then it's going to get really good. I didn't feel that way at all watching this. There were even times after I would record videos, I was gaslighting myself because some people were saying that the first season isn't that good, or you could find rankings online and articles that will rank the series from strongest to weakest. I wouldn't read any of the blurbs, but just curiosity, I wanted to see where they would rank. And one's often not ranked that high compared to the rest of the seasons. But I thought this was amazing. I can only imagine what that means about what's to come. Season 1 feels like this complete story. I think I mentioned in my reaction, I don't know if they were greenlit for future seasons when they finished the first. Probably not. I've heard in the past that The Wire didn't have huge viewership when it came out. The reverence for it is something that came to be over time. We always do that, right? Herman Melville wasn't appreciated until some guy was like, look at this book, Moby Dick. This is awesome, like 100 years later. And the same with Vincent van Gogh or Gough. People that were just underappreciated in their time. I think The Wire is going to be one of those things, and is one of those things that people have so much respect for. But the way in which it portrays society and people is, again, so relevant to now and timely, and it's important. It's probably more important now. and I'll be interested to see how it approaches future seasons. I know that characters like McNulty and Stringer are in future seasons, but I also know we get introduced to new characters. Sometimes when you switch plot and characters from season to season, that can be very jarring. I know it's not going to be as significant as something like True Detective, which has completely lost its way after season 1, in my opinion. Season 1 was a masterpiece. I do know that each season of The Wire focuses on different aspects of Baltimore, the next season being the port, I believe, which makes sense considering what unit McNulty is a part of now. Again, I wonder if they just wrote the first season, ended him with the Marine unit to be funny, and then we're like, okay, well, let's write season 2 and focus on the port. Or if Simon and company had this master plan all along. I imagine it's a bit of both, a bit of improv and a bit of having an idea from the jump. I'll just say again, this first season was incredibly well written and acted. The characters were multifaceted. They weren't defined by one thing like their gender, their race, or their profession. Acting, the standouts for me, Michael K. Williams, Dominic West, Lawrence Gillard Jr., Michael B. Jordan, Andre Royo, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, who played Bubs. His depiction of addiction amid everything else that's going on, a byproduct of that, probably, it did move me the most. I think I said that multiple times. Yeah, just an amazing, intelligent contemplation of human nature and its place in society, of purpose, as it aligns with the decisions we make, the boxes we check, and the corners we're backed into. I just want to thank everyone for welcoming me into the Wire community. Everyone, even the gatekeepers. I appreciate everyone putting up with my mispronunciation of character names. I always do that with new shows and stuff. Yeah, big love to everyone who's bored enough to join me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Drive me off this platform if you must. Otherwise, like, subscribe. Dislike for cathartic reasons. Drink water, stay young, and remember, don't be an idiot. Be a buffoon. Oh, and to quote one Avon Barksdale, take it light, but take it. Peace.